Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Breitling Montbrillant Legende. Stainless steel and 18-karat rose gold. You can see this 47mm Breitling chronograph on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the video at any time to see our full listing for this watch with additional high-res images, accessories included, and of course, complete pricing for the model. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This is a gentle giant, a truly immense timepiece. The 2007 to roughly 2011-2012 Breitling Montbrillant Legende is of legendary proportions. Now you can see the watch 47mm across the round of the case, not including crown or pushers, is also a truly immense 59mm from lug to lug. So this one wears every single millimeter of its nominal rating, if not a bit larger, at almost 60mm across. Now in terms of thickness, it's not super thick. 15mm actually makes it feel pretty flat on the wrist, but again, that's only in the context of just how broad it is. Now it is very heavy. There's a lot of heavy metal here, not just precious metal, just a lot of metallurgy, period. Now all of the links of the 7-link Navitimer bracelet are solid, and you can see the depth and the mass of the lugs of this watch. And just to hammer home how heavy, how massive, how impressively built this watch is, you can see that the strap itself, or I should say the links of the bracelet, are actually adhered to the case itself with screwed in bars, not spring bars. That's the mass of this watch, but also the care Breitling takes in assembling it. Now, of course, screwed lugs that are threaded are more expensive to manufacture, but it's the best way to do it if you're going to deal with a watch that weighs far over half a pound. Now, the timepiece is supple on the wrist. I'm going to admit right off the bat, I simply don't have the wrist to pull this watch off. You're going to want to have a wrist circumference of most likely a minimum of 17.5 centimeters to wear this watch with any sense of proportion or security, simply because the lug-to-lug measurement is so far out there. It's really probably in the 95th percentile of watch size, maybe higher. Now, in terms of what's on the wrist, it feels wonderful. The Navitimer bracelet in all of its forms is superb. It feels very substantial, and because it is anchored in triplicate across the span of the lugs, basically it has no sense of play in it. Also, it's important to note that it is a full width bracelet. You can see how it tapers nicely into the flow of the lugs. If you contrast this with something like a Rolex Deep Sea, which has a rather pinched and narrow bracelet width in relation to the actual width of the case, you can see that Breitling really did its homework and went the extra mile to make sure that ergonomically, for those who have the wrist to pull it off, this watch is going to sit secure and planted. Now it is very solid, and that continues all the way around to the two-tone clasp, which is a robust single swing arm clamshell deployant, very well finished, beautifully made, and substantial like the rest of the watch and the bracelet. This is the perfect complement to a monstrous timepiece, but I mean that in the best sense. This is a lovable lug. I should say 4 lovable lugs, and they frame a gorgeous traditional Navitimer style dial, albeit on a monstrous scale. Now, what I like about the watch is that the use of Breitling's caliber 23, which is a twin register version of the Valjoux 7750 chronograph caliber, gives this one a classical layout. Breitling is careful to spread the massive calibrations of this dial over the full real estate and really take full advantage of the size of the watch. So although complicated, it doesn't look crowded. And you can see that the bezel is nicely pared down. It's a handsome, almost jewel-like addition, but it frames the bezel and it frames the dial like a little golden halo. It doesn't dominate proceedings. Now, it is the traditional Navitimer circular slide rule calculator bezel. You can use it for division, you can use it for quick multiplication. Originally intended for use by pilots, today I find that it's the ultimate party favor at the end of a dinner when you're calculating a tip, and once you're handy with it, you will outpace your friends with their iPhones. Now, the watch features hacking seconds, so when you pull the crown, you do stop the balance and halt the seconds hand for precise synchronization to a reference time. The caliber 23 has a little bit of a quirk in terms of how it's set, in that you want to back the hour hand back past 12 midnight and back past 12 a.m. to advance the date. It's not a conventional quick set date. If you're familiar with vintage Rolex day dates, it works very much in that fashion. Now, the case back features Breitling Montbrillant Legende nomenclature, as well as conversion factors relevant to aviation. Again, this is a Breitling, so it's aviation themed, but the watch works well because it wears its size, it wears its two-tone, remarkably well balanced in relation to what it is, an oversized sports reference truly in the modern fashion. It's nevertheless surprisingly nuanced and effective, not overwrought, simply a lot of watch well done. This is a handsome timepiece. If you have the wrist to pull it off, again, if maybe you're that guy whose wrist is a little bit more like an average human leg, this is the timepiece for you. There should be a watch for everyone, and while this certainly isn't the watch for all, it is the watch for those who just can't find a big enough timepiece, who love the look of a classic aviation instrument but don't want a miniature classic vintage watch to look like a quarter strapped to their wrist. An automatic winding COSC certified Swiss chronometer, this circa 2008 example can be seen and purchased on our website watchyouwant.com.